Okay, so you want to get the inside track on BMW, right?
Huh.
Understand how they stay ahead in that luxury space, but without wading through tons of corporate speak.
Exactly. Think of this as the fast lane to understanding their strategy.
Today, we're really digging into how BMW uses market research.
Hmm.
I mean, how they actually use customer insights to decide what goes into their cars.
And it's more than just, sending out surveys. We're talking focus groups, behavioral data, really getting granular.
So the vision here is to pull out the really key stuff, the aha moments in how they innovate based on what customers really want.
That's the plan, cutting through the noise to see how that customer focus works in practice.
All right, let's jump in. Where does this show up first? Enhancing features they already have, I guess.
Absolutely. It's not always about flashy new things. Sometimes it's refining what's there based on detailed feedback.
So they're looking at performance, comfort, infotainment, safety too.
Precisely. They gather data on how people actually use the car, what they expect, what maybe frustrates them.
Okay, like the digital interfaces. That seems like a big one. Everyone wants their car tech to work like their phone now.
That's a perfect example. There was clearly a huge demand for, well, intuitive systems, seamless integration.
Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, that kind of thing.
Exactly that. So BMW didn't just keep iDrive static, they evolved it. Added gesture controls, better voice assistance, that crucial smartphone mirroring.
It had to feel natural, not clunky.
Right. Enhance the drive, don't distract from it. That was the feedback.
And it goes beyond tech, right? Even
Yeah.
something like seating. Seems basic, but I guess luxury means different things to different people.
It really does, especially globally. Their research, particularly in places like China and the Middle East, showed something interesting.
Which was?
Rear seat comfort was a huge priority, maybe more so than in, say, Europe or the US sometimes.
Ah, okay. So people being driven rather than driving themselves, perhaps.
That's a big part of it, yeah. So what did BMW do?
Let me guess. Better back seats.
Essentially, yes, but scaled up to luxury levels. Think about the executive lounge packages in the 7 Series.
Right, the ones with ventilated seats, massage functions.
Extended legroom, all that jazz.
Yeah.
That's not just adding features randomly. It's a direct response to specific regional research showing what luxury meant there. Personalization.
Okay, that makes sense for refining existing stuff. What about totally new frontiers, like electric vehicles? BMW wasn't the very first to jump in, were they?
No, their approach seemed more methodical. It wasn't a rush. It was more about understanding consumer readiness, infrastructure challenges, performance expectations for an electric BMW.
So the i3 and the i8, they came out of that research. They seemed quite different.
Very different, and deliberately so. The research identified, well, basically 2 distinct early EV adopter types.
Okay.
You had your practical, urban, eco-conscious driver. That's who the i3 was aimed at. Compact, efficient.
And the i8, that was the supercar.
Exactly. That was for the enthusiast who wanted futuristic performance and sustainability. Cutting edge, but electric. 2 different answers based on research.
So they learned from those initial models.
Yeah.
That feedback must have shaped the next wave, like the i4 and the iX.
Without doubt. You saw the lessons applied. Longer range, which was a big one.
Range anxiety.
Definitely. Faster charging, too. And maybe designs that felt a bit more, well, mainstream BMW, perhaps, appealing to their traditional buyers more directly.
So addressing that range anxiety and the whole charging situation was key, especially in the US and Europe.
Oh, absolutely. People were nervous about it, so BMW responded. They invested in charging network partnerships.
Made it easier to find a charger.
Right. And worked on the battery tech itself, faster charging, better density, trying to remove those barriers while still delivering that BMW feel.
This really underscores how crucial it is for them to get the regional differences right. Luxury isn't monolithic.
Not at all. And that's where things like ethnographic studies come in.
You mean like anthropologists observing how people live with their cars?
Sort of, yeah. Really immersing themselves in different cultures, US, China, Germany, the UAE, talking to dealers, understanding how luxury is perceived locally.
Okay, give me an example. North America.
Strong preference for sporty performance,
Yeah.
right? And bigger vehicles, SUVs.
Sure, that tracks.
So what do you see? High-performance M versions of the SUVs, the X5M, the X6M. That's not an accident. It's meeting a specific regional demand identified through research.
Okay, contrast that with China. We mentioned rear seat comfort.
And prestige. Big time. How the car looks, the status it conveys, plus that rear seat experience.
So BMW's response.
Long wheelbase versions, specifically for China. The 3 Series L, the 5 Series L, they don't sell those elsewhere in the same way.
And those make up a huge chunk of their sales
A
there.
massive chunk. It's something like, what, over 80% of their sedan sales in China are these long wheelbase models. That tells you how critical that local research is.
Wow. Okay, one more Europe. What's the focus there?
Often it's more about environmental performance, efficiency, and maybe a slightly more minimalist interior aesthetic.
So more hybrids, maybe.
Enhanced hybrid options, definitely. Promoting things like regenerative braking more heavily. And inside, cleaner cabin layouts, reflecting perhaps that Nordic or Germanic design sense. Tailored responses everywhere.
It's clear technology and connectivity are just expected now in luxury cars. It's not just about the engine anymore.
Not at all. The research shows luxury buyers expect digital sophistication right alongside the mechanical excellence BMW is known for.
And the latest BMW operating system, like OS 8, that feels like a response to tech-savvy users.
It really does. That big curved display, the advanced voice controls, over-the-air updates, custom driver profiles.
Making it feel like your tablet or phone interface.
That seems to be the goal, yeah. Intuitive, powerful, personal, based on feedback from people who live with tech.
And the connected drive services. Things like traffic info, remote control of the car.
Direct result of customer studies. People wanted more convenience, more control, more information seamlessly integrated.
Real-time traffic, checking your car status on your phone.
Concierge services, even predictive maintenance alerts. It all comes from understanding what makes ownership easier, more pleasant. Younger buyers and fleet owners really value this stuff.
So, stepping back, this constant stream of market research, it's not just keeping up, is it? It's how they stay ahead.
It's arguably their core competitive advantage, being able to anticipate trends, not just react, being proactive.
Like how people shop for cars is changing too, right? More online.
Exactly. Research showed high-income consumers were increasingly comfortable with online configurators, virtual showrooms, wanting that digital experience.
So BMW rolled out things like the digital sales consultation.
Precisely.
Right.
Responding to that preference. And that became incredibly important during, the pandemic lockdowns. It was ready.
And it's not just about selling the car, but the whole experience. After sales, dealerships.
Absolutely. They use customer satisfaction studies, brand perception research, all to fine-tune the dealership experience, the service appointments. It's about meeting immediate needs and building that long-term brand loyalty.
So the big takeaway for everyone listening is, this isn't just a department tucked away somewhere. Market research is deeply woven into almost everything BMW does.
It really is. From designing a seat to planning global strategy to developing the next generation of tech, it's this data-centric, customer-focused approach that keeps them at the forefront.
Which leaves us with a final thought maybe. If BMW is this tuned into its customers, what's the next thing they might be picking up on? Based on trends you see happening now, maybe in your own life or industry, what unexpected feature or shift could be coming?
That's the fascinating question, isn't it? What signals are they reading right now that we haven't even thought of yet? It really makes you think about the power of truly understanding your customer.
Definitely food for thought. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
My pleasure.
Until next time, stay curious.